Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Ken Christo. This is Songs of Six, which I keep calling Song of Sixes or Song of Six. Anyway, Songs of Six, the epic. Oh, I've never noticed that your cursor sheds light on the title. Is that new? That's very cool. This is version 66, which is likely to be the final main version before 1.0. It's going to be a long time till 1.0. But it's pretty exciting. There's new stuff. Game's been rebalanced. Let's jump into it. I haven't played since version 64, and version 65 made the game dramatically harder, wildly harder. And we'll talk about a little bit of how it did that when we get into the game here. But let's get in here. I am going to leave difficulty on normal. Next time, maybe I'll try hard plus. But given that the game just got a lot harder, let's do the first one on normal difficulty, I think. And I'm not going to turn on the scripts. You can now have a Balrog or a Warlord who spawns and tries to kill you, all that stuff. At least I assume that's what happens when you dig too deep. Come on now. It's going to be some kind of weird Balrog script. But I'm not going to turn that on for our first game. Let's play. We are going to play as Dundorians. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Before we start, one of the massive changes from version 65 is that having a multiracial society or multi-species society, they're sometimes called species, sometimes races. They can't interbreed, so they're species rather than races in my book. But anyway, these are the different people you can play. And if you're not familiar with how the game works, you pick one to be your primary species, but you can have all of the others in your settlement. But they've made it so that the non-primary species, and by they, I mean Jake, the one-man dev who... Oh, sorry, I haven't got the music playing. There we go. The one-man dev team who is absolutely bossing it and putting out updates just stupendously fast. It's really impressive. Has made it such that non-primary species have twice as much expectations, which means they're twice as hard to keep happy at the same population level. So the species that you pick... I'm going to call them species because that makes more sense to me. The species that you pick is quite impactful, much more impactful than it was. Because when we did our last series, we played with basically an even number by the end of almost every species. You know, we had slightly more piggy boys and Dundorians, but we had a fairly even split. Whereas this time, it's likely that with the same level of amenities provided to everybody, we're going to have twice as many of whoever our primary species is. It's not quite that simple. There's some square rooting going on. Don't worry about it. I spent too long trying to make the maths work, and I can't quite make it work. Don't stress it. So, what affects who our primary species should be? There's one thing which is just roleplay, and there's another which is which do you want the most of, and there's a third thing which is which are inherently easiest to keep happy, because these have modifiers on their happiness. And I will tell you what they are. Sorry, modifiers on their expectations. Higher expectations means they need more happiness to be loyal, basically. Or they need more stuff to be happy. And then their happiness feeds into loyalty. So let me tell you what those numbers are. So again, these numbers, the higher these numbers are, the harder they are to keep happy. So Garthimi, insect boys, Garths, are the easiest to keep happy. Their modifier on their expectations is 1. Then next is humans at 1.11. Then next is Gretonians, so I'm just referring to a spreadsheet I have up on my other screen, at 1.25. Then next is fishy boys at 1.54. Then Dundorians at 1.67, and then Tilapies at 1.82. Now it's not so simple as Tilapies are, 1.82 times harder to keep happy than these guys, because they do have different things they like, and maybe it'll be easier to make the Tilapie happy with the things that they happen to like. I actually think that's wrong. Tilapies, I think, are one of the harder ones, but we're going to play Dundorians. Now, the initial challenge is this is hard, because Dundorians are really good at manufacturing, and really early game, you don't need much manufacturing. But I like Dundorians, not least because I am going to, and we're not going to stick to this very diligently through the playthrough, but I'm going to do some slight roleplay here. So the Dundorians are not born. They're created directly by the gods, which is dope, apart from anything else. Flashes of lightning cause these dudes to pop into existence on mountaintops, which is you know, sick, obviously. So we're going to play as Dondorians, chosen of the gods. And we are still going to try and have a fully multiracial, multi-species city, even though that's harder now. But I think that'll be fun. We have some other goals, but let's get into the game, and then we can talk a little bit more about what our goals are going to be. So, the Dondorians. Let's just take a quick look here. So they're dwarves, basically, or dwarfs, depending on which intellectual property you get your spelling from. And yeah, they're pretty cool. They're far from dumb, but lack the imagination of their human cousins. We're going to lead a lot of humans in our settlement, for sure, especially as the game goes on. The way the game is designed to be balanced is that Crotonians are easy early game, Dondorians are easy mid game, and humans are easy late game, basically. That's when their strengths thrive, because farming, secondary goods manufacture, intellectual stuff, basically. There are strengths for the others, but those are the kind of three main ones. So if you're just starting out and you're really struggling at the beginning, maybe start with a Cretonian. The piggy boys are amazing farmers. But yeah, we're going to go Dondorians. Now, I have unlocked some titles, but not many. We have some more submission from slaves and 0.1 extra happiness. Now, this is not much. In our next playthrough, maybe we'll be able to unlock more of these. I don't know what the unlock conditions are for all of these, but it's a shame that we don't have many unlocked, because they do make the game quite a bit easier. But we're going to take the two that we currently have. We'll see what we can do to unlock most of the others for future campaigns. They changed, because these were updated, it kind of wiped up progress on unlocking some of these, which is unfortunate. The artisan, oh, that probably gives you productivity bonuses. Oh, I love some of these. Anyway, those are the ones we're going to take. Yeah, we're going to go with normal, latitude, and yeah, we can go with just a random map. That's fine. Now, I'm going to take a while picking where we settle. So I'm actually going to pause the YouTube recording here. I'm also live on Twitch, by the way. But I'm going to pause the YouTube recording while we find the perfect place to settle, because I really want to settle somewhere that's going to be ideal for us, basically. It's good. It needs to be near the mountains. I want to have a river. Ideally, I want to have some, a forest. I want it to be quite fertile. There's lots of conditions, basically. So I'm going to pause the recording, find the best place, and then I'll tell you about it. All right, hello YouTube. We found a spot, and by found, the gods blessed us, right? We are the children of the gods, born in the mountain. Maybe the gods gave us a nice river and added a little bit of ore to the area that we're settling. Who's to say? Who's to say what boons the gods have blessed us with? I decided, the coal's already here, we added the ore. I've decided that I'm going to allow ourselves a bit of kind of cheesing on setting up the thing, because otherwise I'll just be re-rolling and re-rolling until I find something like this naturally, basically. But I'm not going to give ourselves everything. I decided to limit myself to 4 natural resources. We could have had 9. We have 4% fresh water, 102% fertility, 22.2% mountain, 81.4% forest, and 15.7% open land. Let's go here. So it generates the world, creates a bunch of roads and trade connections and things. So here are our immediate neighbors. Well, technically only these two that we actually immediately neighbor. And yeah, there's lots of, oh god, there's a big kingdom over here that's all part of the same thing. Or does that mean they're independent when they're grey? I'm not certain, but it's going to be interesting. So we start in, just looking in the top right here, we start in this part of the world below this big mountain range, which gives us a kind of neighborhood that we could potentially control and then trade with the rest of the world or something. Should be good. But here we go. The Crestonians. Launch. Let's take a look. Oh, I should have saved. I should have saved before we loaded in case the map looks horrendous. But that's okay. Okay, so that's a lot of mountains. It's a lot of mountains. But I kind of love it. This looks good to me. So we have, like, obviously, you know where the Dondorians are going to live. There's lots of mining. You can regenerate the map on this screen? Can you? Buildings, population, employment. Zoom in. Ah, yes, you can. Well, okay, hang on. I'm going to regenerate this map a bit. This might be the one we go with. I'm going to save and then regenerate the map a bit. We'll see. Hang on. Yeah, Chad's pointing out, this road does look really nice, coming kind of naturally down. And the river is nice with the little islands. Late game, we can do some fun stuff, like I saw someone on Reddit set up a prison on an island, which I just think is a great idea. I like the big mountain. I think that's about the right amount of the map to be taken up by mountains, even though it's a bit intimidating in terms of farm space. You know, we can always have other regions do our farming. But, and yeah, so there is a bit of Sicilian ore and stuff down here, but obviously it's terrible. What does the fertility actually look like in a 100% fertility map? So it's not 100% everywhere. That's good. I do appreciate that it's not actually 100% everywhere. So there is still a reason for us to use canals and things in some cases, but it is pretty high in a lot of places. So that seems good. Okay, let me just check if there are any better maps than this one before we dive in, because you know it's going to be a long campaign. We're going to play for whatever, probably 40 hours or more on this map. I want to make sure we start in the right place. Okay, we reloaded a couple of times, and this is the map that we are going to go with. I like it a lot because we have the Twin Mountains. We haven't named the settlement yet. It'll be in the title, so if you're watching on YouTube, you already know what it is. But if you have any sufficiently or suitably dwarfish names, do drop them in Twitch chat. I'm curious. Right, so where are we going to settle? I mean, right by the mountain, surely. I haven't dealt with water much in the game. I feel like settling here could be good. There's this fertility... Yes, yeah, so here's fertility base. Okay, so there is going to be some need for us to fertilize land. Down here, not so much, but we will need to do some farming. But yeah, I want to settle relatively close to the center of the map. Just about here seems good. There's some clay up there. It seems like a good spot. And then we can set up, you know, farming efforts over here. And obviously, initially, we'll probably just farm right by the river. And we'll also get some fishing going. But yeah, I think if we do it here and then we build a bridge across the river as one of our first actions, I should probably put the throne room over here in the more open area. But we're dwarves. We gotta be near the mountain. So let's put the throne room here, I think. Okay. Whew, we're in the game. All right, give me a save. Just so we don't mess it up. We are going to try and avoid saves coming unless like all hope is completely lost, by the way. So there will be bad times and there will be good times. So digging takes a while. So we will actually live outside the mountain just for a bit. I'm going to need to remember and also set up all of my shortcut keys again, by the way. I'm pretty sure house is just H. Yeah. So I forget, longhouses, not a space efficient, larger space. I think longhouses are like the maximally efficient ones. So yeah, we'll just set up 2 quick longhouses right next to our starting throne room here in order to give people somewhere to live. We'll probably tear those down and replace them with mountain homes pretty soon. These are mud houses, by the way, so they cost very little to build. And I don't remember how Dondorians feel about mud houses, but they cost no resources to build. They just take a bit longer. The Dondorians, by the way, if you're not familiar with how this game works, please ask questions in YouTube comments or chat and stuff, and I'll do my best to answer them. It's not going to be a tutorial series, but I will kind of explain why I'm doing stuff as I'm doing stuff. So they like, let me just remind myself, they like, what kind of buildings? Yes, they don't like mud buildings. They really dislike them the most. They even prefer wooden buildings, actually. So maybe I should shell out on some wooden buildings just to get a little bit more building preference on them. But no, we're going to get them underground in no time flat, which is what they love. So, but yeah, just to explain that a little bit more, these are the 6 base races. There are 2 others, and we'll try and get one of those later on. But there's the 6 base races, species, and they have different desires in different areas. And the gameplay loop is more or less trying to meet more and more of these desires. The more you meet, the happier they are. When they're happy, more people arrive. But as more people arrive, they expect more, and therefore their happiness drops. You have to meet more desires. Round and round it goes. It's a really, really satisfying, enjoyable gameplay loop. There's other things, obviously, that, you know, in order to meet those demands, you have to have production lines and inputs, outputs, industry, etc., etc. But that's the basic principle. So, in this particular case, what I was looking at, because I didn't explain it very well, these guys like to be green. Size of the bar is how important it is. Green means they're getting what they want. Some of these bars are things they want, some of the things they don't like. So they don't like being cannibals. So we get 3 happiness right now on our Dondorians. purely because we're not cannibals. Great. Good stuff. They don't love the climate. They're getting 80%. They'd rather it was cold, but that's okay. And then in terms of buildings, you can see the percentages on this tooltip. My face might be in an unhelpful place, by the way, actually, now I think about it. Let's move myself so I'm not covering any of the UI. I'll look a little bit better over here, I think. Maybe a tiny bit further out. There we go. They like being in certain types of buildings. So I'm not sure what the leaf one is. I didn't know that was a thing. Does that mean when you just don't have a house, like they actually prefer living in nothing? Or are there like woody houses? I don't know. I mean, not wood houses, but like tree houses. Anyway, what they love is that left-hand one, 100% fulfillment. So we're going to get like no building preference fulfillment for them being in houses. But we will lose homelessness, unhappiness. Maybe no walls? Maybe. That's a good theory. Let's experiment with that, actually. I'm curious. Cancel these. Shortcut key C, by the way. If you don't have a shortcut key for something, by the way, one of the amazing UX things for this game, let's say you want to set a new shortcut key for clear rock, hover over it, and it tells you in the tooltip. Left control H, you set a new tooltip, a new command for it. So helpful. And you can do, control H, alt H, left shift H, etc. So let's make some houses without walls. And we're not going to put them... They'll have... Ooh, have they added isolation to houses? I didn't know that. Okay, well, we definitely need to give them walls then. I didn't know they added isolation to houses. These might actually not be best to build like this then. Hang on. Because the isolation... No, the isolation on that counts as 100%. Okay, so you can have houses next to each other, even though their middle wall kind of doesn't exist. E and Q, by the way, to extend how many of these you're building, if you're not familiar. Yeah, we will build them with mud houses in the end. All right. God, we really aren't making much progress, huh? But that's okay. It's an enjoyable game to take your time with, in my experience. So we immediately need some food. And I didn't actually check where nearby stuff is. Yeah, okay, there's no animals really close to us, so we're probably not going to want to do any manual hunting at the beginning of the game. What I think we'll do... They're not great at fishing. If you look at this screen, this is one of the easier places to see how good they are at different things. Left-hand thing is how much they like it. The arrows are how much they like it. The hammers are how good they are at it. If you hover over, you can see the precise stats. So fulfillment, how fulfilled they are doing it. Skill, how good they are at doing it. So Dundorians, in terms of making food, okay, they're moderately good at fishing. They've got, what, 53% skill? That's not bad. They're not very good at farming. So we'll probably just get them fishing early, but we'll likely want to bring in some non-Dundorians to help with fishing. But yeah, we'll go with fishery, which I assume I have a shortcut key for. I do. Left shift F. Fisheries have changed. Whoa. They look really janky. Oh, those are the deep sea fishing spots, aren't they? Okay. So these are locations where if they're included in a fishery, your fishing boat will go out to sea and go and fish in deeper waters, which is pretty cool. The icon could use a second pass, in my opinion, but that's okay. So yeah, we'll immediately start fishing at the kind of closest spot here. And we want... How many fishermen do we want? This number will increase as we increase the size. Maybe we start off with... Let's be conservative. We need food really urgently. And food is a big concern, I think, especially in this patch. Or in this patch and the previous patch. So yeah, we will... we'll go with 5... Maybe even 6 fishermen early on. No, 5. Will 5 be enough? The deep sea is going to help. But yeah, because it's got these 2 deep sea spots in it. If we had this one in it, you can see it's already just adding those 5 spots adds another 2 fishermen. Yeah, I don't want to add too much here because this is where I'm going to build my my bridge to start out with. I think we'll go a bit further down, get to 6. So fishing, the deep sea bonus is dropping as we add more non-deep sea areas. That's interesting. I haven't played with the deep sea stuff yet, so I want to make it exactly 6 fishermen, I think, so there's no wasted areas that could be part of a different thing. So some storage, we want that to be up here, I think. We don't need much storage for this. And auxiliaries, they're going to cost furniture, I assume. No, just wood for fishery extras. Excellent. But yeah, we'll dot them down the coast. What are we up to? Oh, we're already at 100% efficiency. Okay, don't even need that many. Just 2 of those. Fine. Excuse me. I will shrink the non-water bits just to minimize the amount that needs clearing to enable this fishery to be not perfectly, but just a little bit. There we go. 6 fishermen, 124 internal fish storage with 100% efficiency. Build it. Good stuff. Now we need a warehouse, which is Control W. I just learned by trial and error. We will put the warehouse to the right here. This is all temporary. All this stuff that we're building right now, to be clear. This is not how we're going to do it long term. We'll put some doors in. Can't quite handle 4 doors. We'll do this just so that there's room for some activities out the back. And then crates wise, we want people to be able to walk both sides of this. I can't remember if they can walk over that bottom bit of the crate. I think they can't. So I think we'll do this. And do it like... Oh, we haven't got a door in that top bit, so I'll do that. Yeah, and then I won't fill this space just so that people can more easily like walk in here, grab something there, and then walk back out that way. Okay. First warehouse established. Food, warehouse, houses, build it. So first off, all our Dundorians will pledge allegiance. That's right. Pledge. Swear your fealty. Amazing. So we'll speed things up here. They're going ahead and building. It's going to take them a while to build the mud walls. They're just clearing the area first. And we'll speed things up. I probably should actually... We are going to run out of food fairly quickly. Oh yeah, we have some livestock. Arguably, we should use the livestock to make a little pen with some animals in it. Just because otherwise the livestock's just going to spoil. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think we're going to. They're just not good at it. And livestock, I feel like, is not an immediate... Well, how good are you guys at farming? Shh, I clicked on the wrong thing. I meant this one. Oh, they're not bad at pastures, actually. What food do they like? It's a good point. They definitely like fish. Show me... Where am I supposed to be looking for this? It's access, isn't it? You guys, access. Yeah, so they like fish, bread, mushrooms. And they prefer wine over beer. Which is, of course, cider as opposed to piva. Actually, looks like they like both. And do they like vegetables? No. Yeah, so they like piva and they like cider. Okay. But yeah, fish, bread, mushrooms. Not a big fan of meat, but that's okay. We're not worrying too much about their food preferences right now. It's mostly about just getting enough days of food in the bank, because having lots of access to food and having food stored is very important. I mean, food preference is even more important, but yeah, I think I will do a little bit of farming, because ranching, that is to say, because we need some leather. I think leather would be helpful. So we'll put it in Urok pasture. Yeah, they're not that good at working them, but that's okay. Humans are good at it, interestingly. Yeah, tilapia are the best, though. Okay, livestock is needed to populate the pastures. Yes, that's fine. Lots of space on low fertility ground. Bigger spaces don't require more workers. Okay, so yeah, we'll set up a thing. This is all very temporary, by the way. It's very much a kind of build a city to build a city type setup. You know, as with Factorio. Build a factory to build a factory. Let's build this kind of alongside. Well, yeah, okay. Let's not worry about it too much. We need A nice big hut. Stick that in the middle. Oh, it's 1.9 workers now, because it's technically made it a tiny bit bigger. I mean, smaller, rather. Yeah, we'll just build this temporarily down here. In the future, we'll worry more about aesthetics. But for now, we'll just do this. What's road? Shift R? Yes. So we have, new road options. Fungus road. The choice of road for a darker path. Secretion extracted from the finny glands of Guthrie in heat is mixed with a bait crawler urine and clay. With this mixture applied to soil, it hardens and produces an odor that is pleasant to some. Jesus, it's grim. Fungus highway. Improved formula for the organic road. By adding fermented hay, the formula becomes even more potent. A better road and a better smell. Jesus Christ. A dark plaza. Very cool. Alright, well, we just have dirt roads for now. What are the other new ones? It's cobblestones. That one's old. A forest plaza, which our piggy boys and elves love. Okay. A paved road. Pedestrians need to be careful not to trip. Okay, so it actually... Does it lower your speed? No. It's slower relative to a cobblestone. There's paved road, which you already had. A highway. It gives more speed. A little bit of ore. Some good durability. Plazas. Bricked road. Good road overall. Cool. Good. I like that they've diversified some of that. And then we do want... road across here. And then I don't think you can build straight across here. Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah, so give me a... We need... Is it a line we want? Yeah, there we go. We're going to need a bridge across here. I think a 3x3 bridge will do. Probably shouldn't be queuing that up right now, but... what I established it was? Control R? No, Shift R. Shift R for road. Good. Get a little path down to the pasture. And then I guess here is where we're going to do some of our central services stuff. But I should really let them finish building what they've already got building before I do more. Fine. Good. So warehouse is going up. Oh god, the road takes a little while to build. Probably shouldn't have queued up so much road. Oh well. It'll be okay. Hopefully. I don't know. We've got 0 days of food stored, but it's not counting the rations that we have in the throne, because it only counts stuff that's actually in a warehouse, and this stuff isn't actually stored in the throne room right now. It's just sitting on the ground in there. Fine, fine, fine. Yeah, little dirt roads for now. God, I probably overspent a bit on road building time. Oh, and then this road is kind of in bad repair, so I guess I should build over the top of it. No? I guess I need to repair it. Do I have to claim it or something? Yeah, here we go. Repair. Must report some broken rules or rooms. No, I guess we just need to get a janitor going to repair that, which we definitely don't have the workforce for right now. We're using... What did I decide to put on here? I think it was 8. Was it 8 people or 6? No, I think it was 6 people here and 2 people here. So that leaves literally 2 people free. Which is not ideal. We're not, we're not playing optimally. That's okay. We're just trying to get started here. Let's go super speed. Speed 5 is kind of insanely fast. Let's check. The isolation is 100% on these. Nice. So 8 of them have immediately moved into one long house. Oh yeah, and there's new icons for these guys, by the way. Look at this dude. New icons for a lot of the different species, I think. Cool. Let's keep things going here. Ooh, I don't think I've ever noticed that before. It has little new what do you call these? Railings on the bridge. That's fun. All snoozing in their bed. Yes, so they want all kinds of furniture, but we obviously can't afford that right now. Okay, the warehouse exists, so we've got to choose what to store there. Obviously, fish. We will need meat. Wood, stone, the livestock, just to pull it out of here for now. We will be generating livestock. Some leather. We don't have any of the rest of this, pretty much, so I don't think it matters. Yeah, what do we got here? Wood, stone, rations, grain. There's some grain. I guess we could use the grain to start making bread. I don't know if we want to do that right away. Let's let them deal with what they've got now. Did I put meat in here? Yeah, I did. Yeah, just living off a carnivore's diet to start with. But I think quite soon I'll start bringing in some Cretonians, who will be our great farmers. Cretonians and Dundorians get along perfectly well, so there we go. Our pasture with a little bit of shade in the middle. Nice. Needs 6 animals. Okay, so we could have afforded quite a lot bigger pasture with the livestock we had, but just makes sense to me that we should get the livestock in there so that we can make sure, there we go, bring them out. Awesome. Just so we can make sure that we're not having to import them later on. Okay, yeah, and people are... you not click on this to open... You right click, okay. Yeah, people are relatively happy so far. Their access needs are getting better because they have some housing now. But their environment needs are not going to be great because their housing preferences is not being met. There we go. The fishery's set up, and look, there you go. Little boats. They sail out. That's really cool. And do they actually? They do! That's cool. Oh, so he's fishing just like the deep water around here. He doesn't actually go off the map. I think maybe it's meant to simulate him going off the map, but I could be making that up. Yeah, 3 animals here. And we have... Okay, so technically it counts as skill, but you get multiplied by overtime and by climate. But yeah, the species are not that good at it. That's okay. I love, by the way, this game tells you what the multipliers and what the additive bonuses are. So intelligent. What is the black space on the left? Good question. That is a mountain, but we only operate on one Z layer. So it just looks like, you know, you can't see above the top of it. We can dig in here though. And we will fairly shortly dig in here to make our guys happier because they love living in the mountain. Let's do that now, actually. Let's dig straight over here and set up our first little... What did I make? Control M? What did I make the shortcut for mining? Dig into mountain. Oh, I haven't got one. Control H. This can be Control M. Now masonry is without a hotkey. It's okay. Don't need to build mountain masonries that often. So yeah, we will dig into the mountain a little way here just to set up some houses, basically. And then you can just do this directly with houses. So right at the entrance of the mountain, we'll put some houses. Oh, you can't do that apparently. I have to actually designate it all. Okay. Now can I designate the houses? No. Right, cancel that edge. So we'll let them dig that out, and then we'll just move the dwarves underground. Just because that's an easy way, I think. It takes some time to get it done, but it should be an easy way to keep them happy. Okay, so we got 6.7 fish per day coming out here, which is not bad. Not terrible. From 6 workers. And how much food do they need per day? Isn't it 1 ration? So this thing is producing a surplus of, like, you know, 0.75 over 6.75. That's not great. In terms of tech, we're probably not going to start researching for a little bit. Right, yeah, so tech tree, I've just noticed, by the way, look at this. They added a full tech modifier list to the tech tree. That's so good. The tech tree has been somewhat overhauled since we last played as well. But yeah, we can research this. You get a 0.1 additive multiplier, I think it is, on fishing production. So let's see, additive. Yeah, additive is technology is additive. So that's pretty good. All right, let's speed things along. We've got 3 rooms constructed. No worries. The fishery making only 0.7. Do they eat 1 per day? Let's see if I can. Surely there's a tooltip somewhere. Consumption rate 5. No, okay. They eat half of one thing per day, I think. Yeah, half of one thing per day is a lot better than we thought it was. Okay, so we should be in a this is a pretty good place food wise. We have a relatively significant surplus. Not crazy significant, but relatively significant. We're getting a bunch of excess stone produced. Good stuff. Now, do we want to start farming? Because they do like bread. So that's good. I'm really reluctant to create any new buildings that take jobs without letting more people in first. But what we could do is start letting in some Almalvis, some lizardy boys, as I tend to call them. And then just have them live on the other side of the river, basically, because they're not that friendly. But we could have them live down here and fish down here. It's not a terrible idea. It's not a terrible idea. Let's get these homes built in here so the dwarves can move underground, which should make them happier. And then the kind of... Oh, right, yeah, and I want to talk about campaign goals. So, campaign goals, I want to have a large population. Let's establish it as 1k of every species, all at 100% happiness. I want no... So the way that the game works, this I'm going to explain the context because this might sound a little odd out of context. The way the game works is that early on you rely heavily on immigration, and then later you can start having homegrown people, unless they're Praetorians, who are obviously... Sorry, Dondorians, who are only born in flash of lightning on the mountains and stuff. The other species, you know, grow the normal way. Ask your parents if you don't know how that works. I mean, some of them come... These guys you raise in hatcheries, so not quite. But one thing that people like is... Where is it? Is it not under here? Here we go, immigrant. So they like it when people are born locally, as opposed to migrating into the city. I haven't really played much with, you know, a breeding program, basically. So my ambition is to have basically 100% of the pops born locally. Not for the whole game. I mean, like, that's one of the end goals we have. Other goals: large, stable empire. Any other good goals? Yeah, if we come up with them, then let me know. But I think that would be fun. Once we get, not early on, but once we get big enough, transitioning away from migrants to having people born locally. The different species care about it, I think, to different degrees. So you can see that Dondorians don't care at all. Praetorians, or does everyone else care equally? No, everyone else cares equally, and then these two don't care. Oh yeah, and the Angadosh and the Cantors are like late game people. We want stable late game species population. Those are our goals so far. If you have any other goals, do let me know. Yeah, so with just asking how tech works. Early on, you basically have to focus. You can get everything and maintain it. Getting everything to like the top level, I referred to it in our previous series as a bit like EVE Online. The first 20% of the effort gets you 80% of the reward type thing. That's the rule in EVE in terms of skills. I don't know how exactly mathematically true that is in this, but it really feels like it. But yeah, late game, you have to really go to some lengths. Oh, as soon as there's one free space, I can now say build this. Okay. And let's build it out of stone, because we have some spare stone around. I don't know if it matters building it out of stone. Oh, hang on, this is not quite right, is it? Let's... I don't remember if it actually matters what you build it out of when it's just going to be... like, because it's not the walls, it's not the ceiling. I guess we should test. Let's test it now. Yeah, so we're getting no leather coming out of this. They don't make much. I think it's because this is their estimated daily production, but actually it only produces them when they actually slaughter one of the animals. So it's fine. We could also bring in just a couple of elves just to man a pasture and just have them like live down here on their own. What I'm gonna do, I think, is I want to. In previous campaigns, we kind of got one population and then added another, and then built up, and then added another, built up, added another. I want to try and have all of the populations living, at least some of all of the different species of this main 6, that is, living in our city very early on. Like today, basically. Okay, that does actually go. No, this is overhead mountain, right? It's a cave entrance. Cave. I think cave entrance counts as overhead mountain. Let's say yeah. So out of stone, go ahead and build it there. So only those two bits that they're actually going to make out of stone. Here they're just refilling the mountain cave. Right, but I wanted to test. If I say build it out of mud, and it's entirely surrounded by cave, it just refills mountain cave. So let's see if they actually think that this is a mud house and this is a cave house. Once we're done. Oh, you idiot. They are the silly little Dundorians. They like mining. They're not so good at it. You go ahead and... No, don't do that. That'll take too long. R? Shift R? Control R. Control R is remove. Okay, go ahead and remove that. Dude, remove this spot. Someone will come and do it soon, I hope. Or can they even do that? I don't think they can with the house in the way. Maybe they can't do it. Yeah, a real Dwarf Fortress dwarf, that guy. And there's no way to like prioritize a particular job, so if they don't let him out, he's gonna be in trouble. Because if we look at him, yeah, he needs to go to the loo. he needs to eat at some point. I should really set up some bathrooms now I think about it. You need some more space for wood and stone. Could someone come let this guy out, please? Okay, how could I prioritize that? Yeah, he's hungry. Okay, cancel these. Temporarily stop fishing. Let this guy out. Please. Oh, they're still building this damn house. Let him out. Okay, there we go. Good. You can start fishing again. You can try again with these houses. All right. Let's do it this way. Oh, dummies. Build me a stone building wall right there. There we go. He went and got some food. Good. We still don't have much food, by the way. 2 days of food storage available to us right now. It's lower than I'd like. Okay, now that's built. Now let's do one, which is marked as stone building, and one which is marked as a mud building. And I don't think it will make a difference, but it'll be interesting to get that confirmed. Yeah, 2 days. So up to 30 days, I think, of food affects happiness. Ooh, no, I do not wish to exit OBS. Let me check that. You... 2 is 9%. So it sounds like 25 days is the max. Value needs to be 100%. But yeah, I think it needs to be... I think it's 25 days. All right, houses are going up. Right, so while they're building those houses... What else do I want to do? I think we should set up... Yeah, a little pasture, which is going to be the Almevis. Sorry, the Tanapi enclave. Maybe we'll put that over here. Because this is going to be like the farming area early. If we put like a little elfy enclave near these trees, and a little lizardy enclave down here, that seems good. Really not build these houses yet? Ah, that's good. There's someone working on it. He's freezing though. Okay, yeah, it's a good point. Something that we should set up. Control H? No. Alt H? No. Shift H? No. Why not have one set up for hearths? I like the Afterlife is the name of mass graves, graveyard, and crypts. Health, hearth. Hotkey is Tab H. Okay. So I think yeah, it doesn't need to be that big a hearth. It's a relatively big hearth right out in front of the throne room. It's like a gathering area, right? And then a well would be nice. Control W. Alt W. What did I set it as? Health, well. Oh, it's nothing right now. Oh, you don't build wells that often. A well by the hearth. And then people can keep themselves in good nick. And then we will, using the right tool, put a road around the whole area. And that's our, that's our central square. That's our current town square being established. Good stuff. Take them a while to build it. That's okay. Still a little bit low on food. We can upgrade this, but we need furniture and stuff. Yeah. Maybe I should employ more people here. The fact that they're at 100% workload. It's a useful thing to understand. So jobs, some jobs, more people equals more productivity. So fishing, going down from this, reducing this from 6 to 5, reduces your efficacy by 1/6. Nice and simple. With pastures, there's a certain amount of tending that needs doing. If they don't do the tending that needs doing, animals will start dying off. If the workload is at 100%, that means everyone is busy. But if everyone is 100% busy, then if you think about it, that probably means you need slightly more people, or you have exactly the right amount. I think we built this to be quite precisely the right size for 2 herders, so I'm hopeful that this number should get to 48 by the end of the day. But I am actually just going to take a moment to look at this. We also need to worry about... we need to start getting some clothes productions, ideally. There's no point building big stockpiles of things early on, by the way, because everything spoils. Even gems and things spoil over time. So it's more about meeting your needs. Did it get to 48? I didn't see it. If it didn't get to 48, we're going to need to add some more. Are these houses done yet? No, they're focusing on the hearth. So the hearth is, you know, what it sounds like. Big bonfire. Consumes wood over time. That's okay. We got plenty of wood around. We are building that because our people, we don't have any clothes productions, which means they're going to get real cold. And to try and fight the cold, we are going to do a big bonfire. That way, we'll get them a little bit warmer. It should be good. And there we go. Diddy little well, so that they can wash themselves a little bit, which will be good. Can you build wells? You can build wells anywhere these days. I think at one point you had to build them over water supplies, but not sure. Longhouses, fully constructed, amazing. Okay, so first use of the housing designator tool, which have I hotkeyed? Yeah, left control D for designate. So everyone but dwarves, and yeah, no, we're not going to have any slaves, at least early on. So anyone but dwarves can live out here, but in here, it's the opposite. Can I invert? If I control click or... No, don't think so. So just for dwarves, that's what these houses are. Now, they will clear out of these houses, go move in here, and they should be really, really happy. But let's take a look here. So this house, it doesn't actually show on this screen what type of house it is. But we'll see when they move in. So you've moved in already, right? Lot? Yeah, so Lot. Tell me about your housing fulfillment. He likes that he is housed. What about your housing preference? So building preference. He is loving life. I think this number will continue to rise. He's spending some time working in other types of buildings and things. Because it doesn't just refer to your house. It refers to everywhere. But yeah, he's loving life. And you are up to 100%. Okay, good. This was the one that we... No, this was the one we marked as stone, wasn't it? This was the one we marked as mud. So when they move in there, it'll be interesting. One map mode that's important to look at is homelessness. So you've got to pay attention to how far houses are from workplaces. Even if you have ample housing, people need to live near where they work. Take note, anyone attempting to solve housing crises. It doesn't matter how much housing you build in the middle of nowhere. You've got to build it where the people are. All right. Our dwarves not getting much happier. What is your access has gone down. Food days. Right, yeah, and I made them all homeless. But you moved to the new place. You'll love it. And many of them like where they're working, so that's good. And services are rising because they've got the wells and the hearths. They could do with some food stalls. Maybe it's worth designating one person to provide a food stall. Like, how much happier are they eating at a food stall relative to not? I mean, that's quite happy. 1.5, but we wouldn't get the full 1.5 because we wouldn't get the bonus from quality and upgrades and things. Yeah, so hearth, this is going to trend up to... Oh, you get 100% quality from having just a normal hearth. That's nice. only probably trends towards 50% on upgrade. Yeah, so you're only getting 40% of the satisfaction you could get out of hearths. Hearths? Hearths. Cool, cool, cool. Right, let's speed things up here. I need to make them happier. How can I make them happier? Better access to a shrine of my religion. Ah, yes, good point. So I am going to go in here. I forget. Where do you discriminate based on religion again? Here we go. Only let in... Okay, let's talk a little bit about how religion works. Maybe this is going to be a tutorial series because I find myself wanting to like fully explain everything. So there's different religions. Oh, it's not very well explained in there. Hang on. How do I... Here we go. Religion. No, this doesn't explain it either. Okay. What's the best way to look at what religions do? Can you see it in this tooltip? No. Can you see it here? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it's not currently showing the boosts because you don't have them, but... So there's 4 religions. They have lore behind them. The Lord of Chaos. You have the Enlightenment and Productivity God. The Great Queen, Great Spider Queen. And Cratourism, God of Farming. So these are the 4 gods. And each of them gives bonuses. And you can see the bonuses here. We're not getting the bonuses because... You have to have temples to get the bonus? Is that how that works? That's not how it used to work. So maybe it's not worth doing it. Maybe shrines are enough. But yeah, anyway, there's a bunch of different religions, and different people will follow different religions. Different species will follow different religions as base. But you can also use these checkboxes to say allow or don't allow people access for species. And I think what that means is don't accept immigrants who aren't of that type of religion for that particular species. And then if we look at this, we can see that humans, they're pretty varied, right? They follow most of the religions. But Dondorians, they're basically all Arthurianists, basically. And the different religions give different bonuses. So if you look at Arthurianism, for example, you get bonuses basically to the stuff you want dwarves to be doing. Bakeries, breweries, charcoals, all of the manufacturing jobs, basically. Whereas this one just makes you more submissive, basically. So if you have lots of people who are following this religion, then your slaves will be less rebellious. Cratourism gives you bonuses to food production. This one gives you bonuses to combat. So generally, I want everyone to be an Arthurianist, basically. I suppose maybe you wouldn't want your warriors to be. You'd want them to be this instead, which would be good if you were insects, because insects love following this religion. Oh, hang on, you have a negative to submission from what? Actually, everyone has a negative submission. That's probably just debugged because they don't exist. But so temples, I'm not sure what results in the bonuses. I think you now have to have temples where you didn't used to, because I was going to say, let's stop letting in Krator Dondorians, because we want the Dondorians to be really good at production, but that's fine. Once you get temples, which we do aim to get to, you can use them to convert your pops, which is useful because you want to, either you want to go all one religion because that helps a bit with some things, or you could go, okay, I want to make sure my farmers all convert to Cratourism, so they're better at farming, and I want to make sure my manufacturers all convert to Arthurianism, and my humans as well, because that makes you good at going to university. I want my warriors to convert to this. I want to make sure I get my slaves to convert to this, things like that, which can be really, really useful. So shrines, we could get up to 3 points from shrines. Let's take a look at... Okay, yeah, that's right. You have shrines unlocked right out of the gate. Let's get an Arthuri shrine set up right in the center of town, and you can presumably... Yeah, we can make much bigger ones, much smaller ones. Just a little shrine for 28 worshippers facing the hearth. I think that seems like a good little spot for it. Right, yeah, shrine here, 42 stone. We have a bunch of stone because we just dug into to this. And then I think there will be... Like, there's this new stat. The overall access... There's a stat now that I don't know where you see it. That affects how much they like services. Let's keep the game unpaused. There's a stat somewhere about services. So hearths, there's quality. The quality of a subject's visit is improved by placing special items. But it looks like for wells and hearths, you don't actually need that. I suspect it's more important for things like going to temples and grand arenas and things like that. But yeah, let's get a shrine done. Sure. I don't know if you have to have a priest at the shrine or if they just go and pray at it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm being told you do need it for quality. So why could you explain what you mean? Why do these guys have max quality here? Oh yeah, you need it for upgrades. I get that. But for the quality stacks. There's access, proximity, quality, upgrade. This is new to me, by the way. I'm not sure this was in the last version I played, so it's cool. But yeah, so we need to upgrade them, because right now we're getting... I'm not quite sure how this 57 is calculated. It's not 1 times 1 times 1 times 0.47. So that's interesting. I'm not sure how we're getting to 57. Maybe it's 4 divided by 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 47? No, that would be higher. Interesting. Anyway, not frantically important. We've got 7 people living under the ground now. I guess a couple of them just haven't picked their houses yet, because obviously we have 10 of them. Okay, now there's 8. It takes a while for people to filter into to new houses. So yeah, it looks like it doesn't apply to wells and hearths. We'll just find out what it applies to as we build new services. That's fine. Not a problem. So food. We're slowly trending up on food. I can't say how much I love the use of bar graphs everywhere in this game. And they really easily show you like what the changes are. And then you hover over them and you get the specifics for the particular day. Oh, so good. So good. Maybe load decreases it. I don't think so, because that would be access. It would reduce the access amount if the places are being overused. Okay. Once this is built, we'll speed up time here. Once this is built, we will, we'll let in a couple of tilapis. I think I'll have the tilapis live down here, because there's room over here for an eventual big kind of tilapi settlement, way off from the rest of them. Tilapis are a little rowdy. They don't get along with the other species very well. Territorial and bloodthirsty guardian of Six's forests. Yes, tended to forestry and animal husbandry. So we'll have them doing their forestry and animal husbandry down in a corner, basically. The friendly species can get along here. The friendly species, for your reference, by the way, are Dundorians, Kritorians, and humans. All 3 of them get along with each other just fine. The others, there are varying degrees of dislike between the others, but those 3 get along just fine. And the others I tend to put in their own regions so they can be nice and happy and not cause riots, which they will do if you don't do that. What is your population problem? All right, you want a noble. We can't appoint nobles yet. You also would like the idea of having some people of other races, species enslaved. So food days slowly ticking up to 5 days of food stored now. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, it's a good point. Chad's pointing out tilapis are really good at cutting down wood. Where is that? Here it is, woodcutters, but they do not like it that much. They're only at 50% fulfillment. And of course, in most people's lore. Oh, okay, look, that looks cool. It's got loads of available services. It doesn't take a priest. But let's see here. So we need to find someone who goes to it and see if they're satisfied. Because I bet they think this shrine is being like disrespected by not being surrounded by awe-inspiring stuff. Hey, we can actually get some new Dundorians. There's one immigrant willing to join. Very nice. I want to see someone go to it. Oh, hang on. Let's also check. I need to stop pausing. Did we just get some religion bonuses? No. Okay, so it does have to be a temple. I think you have to make sacrifices specifically at a temple. Hey, buddy, go to the temple. No? How are you doing? On religion. Religion. Shrine. He's not been yet. Is there? Can I hit like right, left arrow to go to the next citizen? I wonder if there's a shortcut for that. Someone here must have been to the temple. You been to the shrine? You, sir, have you been to the shrine? No. Come on, man. You go. You know he's going to pray. Damn it. You. I saw some people go to the friggin' shrine. Where are they? Well, I'm not sure. Go, oh, somebody. Maybe I just speed up the game. Speed the game up until more of them have gone to the shrine. Oh, I should have. I need to see someone going to the shrine and then immediately pause. What? I didn't quite catch him. Was it you? No, he doesn't. No one seems to have. No one's prepared to admit to having gone to the shrine. I swear we saw. Maybe this doesn't update until the end of the day or something? Are they showing us having access to shrines in religion? Yeah, they are. Okay. Maybe that's just a graphical bug. Okay, so they're quite liking going to the shrine. And... okay, but this one is not showing the breakdown by quality. Because it does say having access to quality shrines, but I guess only the only services tooltips actually include telling you all that stuff. Oh, hang on. You, sir, you're at the shrine. How is this not going up? Is it in your... here we go. Your worship. The current sacrifice need of a subject. As it increases, subjects will seek out related services. You need to go to shrines, do some sacrifices. It grows by 10% a day. So they're worshipping, which is what he's currently doing. Increases by 30% a day. So they'll need to go and worship, you know, every 3.3 days. Cool. I don't understand why his shrine thing is not going up, but that doesn't matter. So just by adding religion, wow, look at how much happy they've got on here. Oh, and the desecration. Deleting a place of burial or by one becoming damaged. A graveyard must be deactivated for a while before it can be removed, by which means all the graveyard spots have to be empty. But yeah, look at this happiness from Shrine. Up to 1.25 additional from Shrine right now. Looks like it's stopping at 41%, but let's see. When the next person prays, is it going to go up? No, it just can... okay, blue is what it's trending towards, I think. But the current value is getting there. Yeah, okay, cool. So we are, yeah, we're getting a bit happier, but it is winter. I actually didn't notice. That's not great. The hearth is so far keeping people pretty warm, but I have to imagine if I clicked on like anybody, they're going to go, please, I'm so cold. The roads are tasteless. Surely we can do better than these roads. It's true. Can't make you a noble yet. Let's let in some more Dondorians. So just the one. Come on in. We're going to keep close track of how many people we have to start with. And you'll note, as more people come in, they're like, they show up with low service fulfillment, which makes sense. But it does mean that they're going to be a bit miffed just when they first arrive. It is odd when you click on someone and the screen kind of follows them around when you're going at high speeds. The game can, if you do this as well, really does make the game kind of flick around a bit. No homelessness problems. That's good. Maybe we should already start trying to do some farming, because we do have some really, really fertile land over here. Like 70 here, 80 here. Let's take a look at actual fertility stats. So where's the really fertile stuff? I mean, by the river, obviously. It's difficult to see where the river is when you're that zoomed out, but you can see that the section right by the river is mad fertile. So we might want to set up our first... yeah, we can see we've got 100% fertility until some distance from the river. Also, what is that? Oh, right, that's the clay deposit. But yeah, so we might want to set up some riverside farming early on. We can also fill in parts of the river. Oh yeah, okay, that's what I'm going to do now. I saw someone do that on Reddit, and I loved it so much. I'm going to set up a place for our no, we shouldn't let people in yet. We need to get a little bit more people, because I'll want each little population center to have their own hearth and their own well. And setting up that many different things, I think, would be a bit excessive. What we definitely do need, though... hang on. It's J, Shift J, Control J, Shift Alt J. No, okay. Apparently I didn't shortcut janitor. Yeah, so let's make this J. J. So a little janitor living next to our warehouse seems good. With just a single workstation and a single little bit of a utility boost like this. A door down here at the bottom. We can make this out of stone, I think, to keep our guys happy. 5 janitors can fit in here. We definitely don't want that. We'll need to lower the number that are assigned there once that's finished being built. But yeah, janitors, they repair things. So you can see if I hover over this, it says... Oh, actually, it doesn't right now. Yeah, it does, sorry. Deterioration, 6.8%. Janitors maintain it. The fishery is at 0%. Maybe places that people work, they automatically maintain. But, yeah, and I'm going to try and build stuff out of stone to keep our Dondorians happy. Later on, we're going to be, specifically building areas out of materials that the local workers really like. Okay, but I'm going to call it a part there on YouTube. Don't worry, Twitch, I'm not going anywhere. Fairly successful first episode. Not growing fast, but people are pretty happy. We've got some resources, got a nice little shrine. Seems good. Seems good. In the next episode, what are my goals? I want to get some clothing production. And I want to get... I will, as I say, I want to add basically all the populations quite quickly, but let's add in... Specifically, the objective in the next episode, I want some farming Cretonians, I want some fishing Almivas, and I want some pasture tending Tilapis. That's the goal in the next episode. Get our diversity of species going. And if I haven't hammered it home enough, the reason you want to get a nice diversity of species, there's various reasons, but one of the really good ones is they really do have varied skill sets. So making full use of their varied skill sets is very powerful. Cool. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.